And do you believe the secret to success in real estate is not working harder or working smarter? I'm going to tell you that is the 1000%, 100%, whatever you want to percent, but it's totally true. The reason I'm saying this is that if you can figure out a niche to cover in, meaning like cover a certain specific area that you're going to focus on in real estate, you're going to make so much more money than trying to do it for everybody, like trying to be everything to everyone. It's just like the story that when you're a generalist, you really don't serve anybody. The most successful agents do not try to serve every single client that comes along. They specialize, they dominate, and they become that expert in their niche they want to be in, and people go to them. And they're known for that. And that's a really, really great way to do business and get attraction business to you by figuring out what niche you're in. So why it's so important to find a niche is that you have to first figure out what is it that you want? Like, what is it that you want to serve? Like, who do you want to be near? And what kind of business do you like doing? Like, some people love working with buyers. Some people love working with listing. Some people want to work with first-time buyers. So you have to figure out which niche you want to be in and then kind of hone that in. And I'm going to tell you something, it makes a huge difference. I saw that really happen for me going from my first year in business to the second and third and fourth and on. And the thing is, the power of specialization, you see that not just in real estate, you see that in the medical world, you see that in a lot of businesses. The more hyper-focused people are on, so even in social media, instead of just saying I'm a social media expert, if you say I'm an Instagram expert, I'm a YouTube expert, you're going to get so much more people, more honed in your specialty, and be paid a lot more for that specialty instead of a broad general situation. I think the hardest piece is people figuring out what should they focus on, like what is their niche. And if you're struggling to get the consistent leads and get consistent business, it's probably because you haven't figured that out, right? And one of the biggest things I tell people to do is think about who would you like to attract as a specialist, and where do you kind of naturally find yourself going towards? And one of the biggest things I think people don't realize is that in real estate, there's very specific niches, and it's pretty obvious, I think, what you're probably good at, if you can tell. So think back to your past clients, and maybe you have served if you've been an agent, and who would you enjoy working with? Who did you connect easily with? Who did you find exciting to work with? And then who did you really struggle and fight? And so sometimes it'll show up for you over and over again. One of the great areas I think that a lot of newer agents like to focus on are your first-time buyers, because they don't know what's going on. And so if you're newer to business and they don't know what's going on, they don't know what you don't know, and so it's not as big of a deal, right? So that's number one niche would be first-time home buyers. And how you want to serve them is like someone like, let's say Sarah. She really stood out in the market because she became the first-time home buyer expert. She came out with advertisements, she did buyer seminars, she did home buyer guides. She really did a lot of educations and workshops and did all business with referrals with a network of lenders that focused on first-time buyers. And she became the go-to agent for first-time buyers. It's a great way to start off because first-time buyers have to sell their home and buy another home at some point, right? So that's a really good thing. And when you build a niche like that, you do build trust and credibility and a lot of referral business later. Then the second niche I see a lot of people wanting to do is that luxury business, right? Everyone's like luxury, luxury, luxury. And someone like David that did luxury went all in on luxury properties. But the biggest piece is understanding the luxury business and the luxury market, understanding higher end marketing, understand what these higher end appliances and building and builders and custom builders and what are the lifestyles of people that are buying these luxury markets, right? Niche marketing in that field requires such a knowledge. And if you're not knowledgeable about that, it's going to be kind of hard to fake, right? So you have to really think about, is that an area you really want to specialize in? Are you at that point that you can specialize it, but you can learn always? Third would be that investor focused agent. I know a lot of people out there do work with investors, and what's so great about investors is that they're repeat clients. They buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell. That's the positive. The negative is that there's no emotion, there's no connection. It's all about the numbers. So you have to be really numbers focused. You have to be really analytical, and you have to understand the market, find off-market properties, be able to crunch the data for them to get their ROI. And a lot of times they do want a bulk discount. So if you're okay with that, that kind of is typically what a lot of investors seek, unless you have some specialty that they're just like, I don't care, I'll pay you what you want. But if you're gonna sell 10 to 12 properties with an investor a year, it might be worth giving them a little bit of a break, right? At the end of the day, it's about their bottom line, just like your bottom line. And the thing is though, you want someone that's an expert and consistent, and that's gonna show up for them time and time again. And are you that person? The fourth one is that relocation expert. This is someone we're seeing a lot of people doing YouTube videos, like living in the city of, and they're getting a lot of people moving into the area. So if you're in a second home market, or if you're like you're in Florida, Arizona, places that people are moving to and relocating a lot of, that's a great area to specialize in, right? Because you're getting a lot of out-of-time buyers. They don't know anybody. They're going to see your YouTube, your posts, all that great stuff, work with you, put under a contract, and then they're out. And then they tell their friends and more people move in. And I see some great agents dominate in this market. Another specialty. It just comes over and over and over again, but there's a lot of work and consistency needs to be done. You need to know everything about the area. You need to understand what it feels like to relocate and what they're going through as a buyer. And then maybe they need to sell, right? And how can you connect them and help them in the selling path over there? So those are just a few different niches I think that we're seeing in real estate that you could consider. And the biggest thing is, how do you find that niche, right? We talked about that. What do you lend to? Who is the client that you loved working with? And that's something you really should ask yourself, like 3 questions. You know, what do you naturally enjoy? Do you want to work with an investor? Do you want to have that information? Do you want to always be looking for off-market deals? Do you love new home buyers? Do you love younger couples, younger people? Not always younger. Some people, I had one client that, gosh, she bought a house and she had been renting for something like 35 years and she could have bought a house with that. It's just crazy when I think about it. But she bought her first house in her late 50s, you know, so, and she didn't know anything. And it was really cool to see her go through that journey. So sometimes your first time buyers are not necessarily young in age, but they're young in buying a home, right? Just like there are some younger people that have already bought and sold multiple homes by the time you get to them. It's really surprising. And then figure out too what market you're in and what demand is in your market. So if you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no luxury, you probably don't want to specialize in luxury. There's just not a lot of luxury to be had. But if you live in Beverly Hills or Manhattan or Miami or places with crazy luxury prices, that's probably something that you may want to consider because you're going to get a lot more money. There's a lot more money to advertise those homes and sell them, but the payout's going to be a lot more. They're going to probably do less number of deals, but you're going to sell bigger properties. Like these are the 3 million, 10 million, 15 million, 25 million homes. I mean, how exciting would that be? And that's something like to consider too, like what does your market look like? Do you have a lot of investment properties that, or potential investment properties that out of the market areas people would want to come in and buy and sell from out of the area? You could specialize in that. So kind of pay attention to what your market serves and what would be good. Is there new construction? Is that something that you want to specialize in? And the last thing would be, if you've been in business for a year or so, kind of, again, I mentioned this in the earlier part of the video, think back to what you did and why you liked it and what you were successful at. What were the deals that were natural for you to do? Think about where you shined in the business. And those are kind of things in helping you lead to your path on who you want to work with and may help you with your niche. The biggest thing about dominating your niche, once you realize this, so let's say you pick your niche out. So let's say you decide first-time home buyers, you really want to do 4 things. You want to learn to dominate that niche. So people are like, I gotta work with Alicia. I gotta work with her. Create content, guys. I'm creating content here for you because I want to educate, inspire, and grow women or men, but it's really for men in this channel, but men can watch it. You gotta create content. I know people don't want to, but we are a visual people. We're a visual society. Blogs, video, posts, YouTube. You have to have credibility. And when people see you more and more and more, they know, like, trust you, and it's going to build that over time. So make sure you're doing the content. Build strategic partnerships. I cannot say that enough. If you're going to do first-time buyers, you should be making friends with every single lender that has a first-time buyer specialty loan. Work with all the different lenders and inspectors and home insurance people and people that are going to be part of their process, right? And inspectors, and get to know and build businesses that will serve and kind of pass business back and forth with each other. And they'll know that you're the person that's going to take care of their people too. So important, right? 3 would be getting active in the right circles. One of the first things I did was join huge bunches of groups that I naturally liked. I love to read. I joined a book club. I wanted my daughter to be in Girl Scouts because I was in Girl Scouts. So I was the Girl Scout troop leader. Put yourself in the right groups. Go into the right Facebook groups, even networking events, showing up to the places that resonate with you genuinely, because people can kind of see through if you're not doing it genuinely. We can smoke it out. You know what I'm saying? And 4th is be consistent. I can't say that more than enough. A consistency is more than anything, and own your expertise. Like, if you want to be the expert, own it. Don't walk away from it. Don't let someone tell you what you can and can't do in business. If you decide you want to do luxury, do it. Learn everything you need to learn about luxury homes, how to sell them, how to market them, who's buying these homes, where are they coming from, what's important to that buyer. Get into their frame of mind. It's going to make you own the market. Okay. And once you find it, you'll own it, and your ideal clients will just show up because it'll just make sure you'll be the go-to person. It's really exciting to work in a niche market when you think about it. So now it's your turn. I'm just curious. In the comments below, let me know what your niche is going to be. If you have one, or if you're curious and you're trying to decide between both, help, let me know and I'm happy to chat with you about that. And if you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to know more content, and shoot me a message if you're interested in hearing specific data about business, personal growth, anything like that, especially in real estate and business and coaching. That's my specialty, but I am a woman and I am growing and I am all about being the empowered woman. So thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, get your niche done.